Sometimes there's gremlins and they hang around for a while. All right, can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna step back just a little bit. Great. So I'm Rebecca, I'm the CEO of Housecall Providers, and it is so wonderful to see you all here tonight. It's a wonderful event that we have planned for you. Works of Heart is our 30th anniversary celebration. And today we gather not only to celebrate 3 decades of compassionate in-home primary care, palliative care, and hospice, but we're here to celebrate the lives, the stories, and the relationships that define who Housecall Providers is. In 1995, Dr. Benneth Husted founded nonprofit Housecall Providers with a simple but very powerful idea that no one should be denied medical care when they need it simply because they struggle to leave their home. Dr. Husted is here with us tonight, and Benneth, if you wouldn't mind standing up so that we can acknowledge you for your incredible vision. Candidly, it feels a little funny for me to be standing up here attempting to tell you what it was like when Benneth was starting Housecall Providers 30 years ago. So I'm going to do my best, but I would encourage you at the end of the formal program to find Benneth and just ask her a few questions about what it was like back then, because she has an amazing story to tell. I also want to tell you that she wrote a book. And the book you can find on Amazon, because I checked this morning. Many people have read it. It's beautiful because it tells the story of her life trajectory, which led her to the founding of Housecall Providers. And the book is called, I'm going to see, I think I have it memorized, Grief and Grace, The Alchemy of Awakening. Beautiful story. So here I go. You can just nod if I'm on the right track, if I got something wrong. So back in 1995, when Benneth started the practice, she was a solo practitioner for a little while, and she was serving mainly frail elderly individuals in the Portland metro region who could not leave their homes or had struggled to leave their homes. So without this care that she brought to them, this comprehensive primary care, they might not have had any care at all. Soon, she was able to create a small but mighty team, mostly made up of nurse practitioners who joined her, and they slowly grew the practice and the number of patients that they cared for. They had a small shoestring budget, and I've been told that there were years, at least months, maybe years, where the practice operated out of her basement. The amount of blood, sweat, and tears that Benneth and her team put into this organization cannot be overstated, and Benneth herself gave almost 2 decades to this work. So thank you for creating this incredible gem of an organization. We owe a lot of thanks to you and appreciation. And your vision has become the largest home-based medical practice in the state of Oregon. We have over 180 employees, a $25 million budget a year, and most importantly, we serve over 3,300 patients a year. And growing. Our primary care program just topped 2,000 patients. Huge milestone for us. So that's an amazing amount of growth for a relatively small medical practice. And what that means is that we're bringing this really unique model of care to more and more patients who need it each and every year. Your legacy lives on in every patient visit we make, in every story that we tell, and in every life that we touch. Your courage and your tenacity has brought us to this moment, has made Housecall Providers what it is today. But there's another person that I want to honor this evening. sitting right next to Benneth. Terri Hobbs, if you wouldn't mind just waving so people know who you are. Thank you. Let's give Terri a round of... Terri was Housecall Providers Executive Director from 2011 to 2017. And in fact, when I came over to take on this role at Housecall Providers, Terri was there. She held my hand. She taught me what I needed to know to run and manage a really complicated medical practice, unique. And it was a wonderful time that we spent together, and I'm so glad that you were able to be here tonight, Terri. Terri actually began her service at Housecall Providers in 2001. She was the practice's first billing manager, and then over the course of the next 10 years, before she became executive director, she held many different roles and titles, so she's lended a lot of expertise to the organization over the years. Under her tenure, we expanded our hospice program, and we became one of only 14 practices in the nation, the only one west of the Mississippi, to participate in Medicare's first shared savings payment demonstration that was focused on home-based primary care. And that demonstration was actually co-authored by Ron Wyden. So we have been a favorite of Ron Wyden's from the early days. I actually just ran into him at the airport about 3 weeks ago, and he remembered who I was, but more importantly, he said, "Housecall Providers." So he is still a huge champion of ours. And in that payment demonstration for 7 years, under Terri's leadership, we actually were the top-ranked practice for several years in a row. Terri's steady hand and her heart-forward leadership have shaped the culture of excellence and the culture of compassion that we have here at Housecall Providers. Thank you so much, Terri, for everything that you gave to the organization. Woohoo! I also want to bring into our reflection this evening the memory of a dear colleague, Rebecca Ashling, who was our hospice pioneer, and we sadly lost Rebecca last year to cancer. Rebecca was instrumental in launching and shaping our hospice program over 15 years ago, and her spirit lives on in the dignity and the love that we share with our patients and their families at the end of their lives. We will always treasure Rebecca for the impact she made on Housecall Providers. And of course, none of this would have been possible without the incredible employees of Housecall Providers, past and present. Please, if you are a past employee or a present employee of Housecall Providers, please stand up so that we can thank you for your service and acknowledge you. Your dedication, your compassion, and your expertise has fueled and powered every single milestone that we've achieved. From the earliest house calls back in 1995 to the beautiful full care continuum that we now have, you have always been the heartbeat of Housecall Providers. So thank you for everything that you do every single day. I have never had the honor of working with people who I respect and care for as deeply as all of you. This night is for you as well. We celebrate you. Over the past 30 years, Housecall Providers has made more than 100,000 house calls. We've earned top rankings in the Independence at Home demonstration, but also in the new demonstration that we're participating in now, which is a name that you won't remember, and it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I'll tell you what it is. It's called High Needs ACO Reach. Leave it to CMS to give us a bunch of words that don't necessarily tell us anything. But it is an important program because it allows us to care for Medicare beneficiaries and with our home-based model. And if we do a good job with their quality of care, so if we meet benchmarks, And if we're able to lower the cost of their care compared to patients that look like they do clinically but aren't in our model, then we are able to share in some of the savings. And it allows us, it's actually a really big part of making this kind of model continuously sustainable. We just found out a couple weeks ago that we were the top performer last year in our ACO. In addition to those things, we've launched a nationally recognized community-based palliative care program that was featured in the New York Times in 2020. And the author, Teresa Brown, who wrote that article in the Sunday Times, called me a year ago and she said, "Rebecca, I'm writing a book, this was right as we were coming out of the pandemic, and she said, I'm writing a book about hope in healthcare." She's like, everyone needs hope right now. We're just coming out of this horrendous experience that we all had. I want to feature Housecall Providers primary care as one of 4 chapters in this book about hope in healthcare. So she came out, she spent 2 weeks with our primary care team, and she's writing a chapter about us. It should be published at the end of 2026. There are several clinicians and leaders that will be featured in this chapter, including our very own JC Provost, right here in the front row, who has been with the organization 21 years. 21 years. You just don't find that kind of longevity in healthcare. And we have many people at Housecall Providers who have been here between 10 and 20 years. So it's pretty amazing. We have also maintained and grown one of the few remaining nonprofit hospices left in the state of Oregon, and one that received top marks in the National Hospice and Palliative Care Quality Connections program. So I could go on and on and on. So many accolades, so many achievements over these 3 decades, but the greatest achievement of all is the trust that we have earned from our patients, from our families, from our caregivers, and from our community, because you give our mission purpose. Over the past 3 decades, we've all seen a tremendous amount of change in the healthcare landscape. Some of it has been amazing. It's been fueled by innovations, advancements in technology, in treatments, cures for diseases that we never thought would be cured. We've also witnessed a huge proliferation of for-profit medicine, and in particular in the hospice industry. Just to give you one indication of that, between 2010 and 2019, the number of for-profit hospices across the country doubled. During that same period of time, the number of nonprofit and governmentally sponsored hospices shrunk. This has made it increasingly difficult for nonprofit medical practices and hospices, nonprofit hospices in particular, to survive. And we are seeing them disappearing all over the country. Nonprofits like Housecall Providers are really essential. They're a critical part of our healthcare system because they always prioritize people over profits. And they also often care for segments of our society and individuals, populations, and patients that are otherwise overlooked by other parts of the healthcare system. Older adults, homebound adults, individuals living with disabilities, veterans, marginalized individuals, undocumented residents, people of color. These are the individuals that we care for, and we care for them with the same high-quality care that we care for anyone. Without us and without organizations like us, these individuals may not get the care they deserve. I grew up in rural Oregon, in a small town in Douglas County called Roseburg. Some of you may have, all right, right on. Some of you may know it. Some of you may have been there or driven past it. It's right on the I-5 corridor. It is It is a beautiful place. And as I was growing up, my father, who was a urologist, would often take payment in the form of freshly caught salmon. Or one day I remember a truck driving down our driveway, and it had a bunch of handmade furniture in the back that somebody had made for my father from gathering wood. So I grew up with these values that have really shaped the way that I think about healthcare. I think about it as a right, not a privilege, and something that only people who have means have access to. So growing up with those values led me eventually to getting a nursing degree, getting a public health degree, ending up at Care Oregon, a Medicaid nonprofit health plan, and then finally to Housecall Providers. And it is here where I have truly been able to live my values each and every day, and I do not take that for granted. It is a wonderful thing. So I'm getting the time hook. I got to wrap it up. So I'm gonna end. I really am. I'm really gonna end here. About tonight's performance. First of all, Works of Heart is not just a performance. It is a reflection of our mission in action. Through song, dance, video, and painting, you're gonna witness the stories of our patients' lives brought to life by these amazing artists. And these are not just productions or pieces of art. These are acts of love, acts of empathy, and acts of healing. And they remind us about why we do this work and why your support matters so much. So to our patients and to our artists, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because Works of Heart would not be possible without your courage, your generosity and creativity. Thank you. We know that your willingness to share your stories and to share your art is what made this evening possible. Thank you to those who are here and those that are watching on the live stream for supporting us, for believing in us and believing in the power of home-based medicine. I have four thank yous, and then I'm going to hand this off. So first of all, I think we all need to give a warm applause to 3 people in the back. Number 1, Barb Gorman, who leads our marketing, communications, and fund development department. Bruce Erickson, our senior development and marketing specialist. And Emily Caldwell, who is our developing and marketing coordinator. They're the dream team. I also want to thank our board of directors, many of whom are here tonight. So if you are a Housecall Providers board of directors or director, please stand up so that we can thank you for all the support that you give this organization over the course of the year. And now I am thrilled to introduce to you the artistic director for Works of Heart, Marianna Thielen.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Hi, I'm Marianna Thielen. I am the artistic director and a participant in Works of Heart, which you are about to experience. Thank you for being here. So many great words said about this project, but when I was approached about it, I was so honored, so excited. It's such a rare opportunity to get to do something like this and work so closely with people. So I also got to assemble an amazing team who you are going to hear from soon. We have visual art from Latoya Lovely and Leah Kohlenberg. We have theater and dance from Jessica Wallenfels and Susannah Mars. And we have filmmaker Jordan Henline. And it's just been great. We've been working on this since the spring. And people got assigned patients to work with, met with them, heard about their lives, and then created the artwork that you're about to see tonight. And I'm so inspired by what Housecall Providers is doing. It just feels like right now, the world seems to have lost the plot a little bit. It's like, we should take care of each other. Like, come on. So you are doing that every day and in the most important way. And I think we're going to see how important art is as well tonight. So I want to thank you for including art in your 30-year celebration. Thank you. I believe we are all artists. We all have a way that we like to create. We all want to connect. And you are going to see that in a deep way when you witness these works of heart. So now I'm going to shift and talk about myself as a participant. I was paired, well, I should say first, I'm a singer and a songwriter. And I was thrilled to be paired with a musician for this project. There she is. Anne, this is Anne. And Anne is a singer and a guitar player. So we immediately clicked when I went to go visit her. We talked about music. She had a really fascinating life. She was from a military family, so she traveled all over the world by car, by plane, by ship. She had all sorts of great stories about growing up playing music, and she loved her family so much. Sadly, after our first meeting, which I should say, it went on for 3 hours. I was supposed to be there for an hour, and we had so much fun talking about music. She's a folk artist, so we had some of the same taste in music, and we had such a good time. But sadly, after our first visit, we were going to meet again, and she passed away. I was pretty devastated by this. And fortunately, I was in touch with her daughter. And her daughter and I emailed back and forth. She actually sent me a folder of all of Anne's music, and it was such a gift. She's a beautiful voice, played guitar great. She sang all these like 60s folk songs. It was fantastic. And then she also told me a story that in her last few days, they brought in a harpist to play for her. And when she got to the song, "The Water is Wide," Anne recognized it and was like immediately at peace. So when I heard that story, and in just kind of thinking about her life and her travels, I just kept thinking she's got a lot of water themes that kind of weave through her life. So inspired by that, and paying a little nod to the song, "The Water is Wide," I'm going to play this for you. I'm going to be accompanied by Reese Marshburn. Over here, he has been playing for you for cocktail hour. He also happens to be my husband. We have a band together called the Bylines, and when I told Anne that my musical partner is also my husband, she was like, "Oh, you're so lucky." So this is Anne's song.
Sad to see the sailed on ships, traveled wide and far. Another town, another school, one with a guitar. Lifted up the lonely ones she met along the way. Paris to Washington, Spain to Monterey. it runneth over. The difference she made. Late at night, hear her play, sing a lullaby, songs of beauty, songs of strength, righteous marching cry. Said, you gotta give it back. The water's wide and calm now. Hear her serenade. Our cup it runneth over. The difference she made. The water's wide and calm now. Hear her serenade. Our cup runneth over. The difference she made. Cross over. Cross over. Cross over.
I know I'm not the only one who was crying. I looked. I saw it. Thank you, Marianna. I do want to say, and all of us, I think, feel the same way, that Marianna ran this project a little bit like how she sang that song. So thank you, Marianna, for making it smooth and beautiful and sad and heartbreaking and lovely. Thank you. So my name is Leah Kohlenberg. I'm a painter. I'm an artist here in Portland. And the people I was assigned to was an absolutely lovely couple. And when I went to meet them for the first time, they had sent me an email. We had exchanged by email details. I went to their house. And when I walked up to their door, which was beautifully decorated with kind of stunning wooden art pieces and flowers and all kinds of things, there was a tiny little sign that said, "Do not disturb." So I remember thinking, am I in the right place? But I knocked gently, and they opened the door and welcomed me in. John and Carol are their names. And we sat down and talked for almost 2 hours. It's really, and I fell in love with them. I mean, it was really hard not to. And at the very beginning of our conversation, I was asking them, and so John is on hospice, Carol is not, she's his caregiver. And at the beginning, when we were talking, I said, "So how did you guys meet?" And they looked at each other, and Carol said, "It was in that shy group." I'm like, "Shy group? What's a shy group?" And she said, I don't know, 50 years ago, they were both living in Eugene, and a professor was doing a research study on shy people, and he asked a bunch of people to come and do a research assignment. And they came. Both of them came to that. I was like, that's amazing. The professor must have been really like comforting to like get all those shy people in one place. I said, how long did it take before you started dating? She goes, 8 months. I finally had him come to my house and help me move something and moved things along. So the people I like to call the shy couple found each other in a shy group and had this incredible life together. I mean, an incredible life. They lived all over the Pacific Northwest. John is a carpenter and a mechanic. He can do anything with his hands. Beautiful builder, excellent work, you know, in a way that people don't really do anymore, like that kind of skill. And so we had this long and wonderful conversation. And at the end of it, I said, well, what's your favorite place to go? And they said, the Rose Garden. That's one of our favorite places. And I said, well, why don't we do a photo shoot there? And then I'll do a painting from that, and then that's what you can have. That will be your painting at the end. And they agreed, and I left. And then the day before the shoot, I got an email. Well, I'll start by actually showing you the painting. Hang on. You were right, Latoya. This was good. The thing is, this painting almost didn't happen because the day before the photo shoot, John emailed me and said he wasn't comfortable and he wasn't feeling well and he didn't want to go on the trip and we shouldn't do it. And I didn't really know what to do with that because Marianna had been talking. I believe Anne had just died at the time that we were having this conversation, so I didn't know what was going on. I was worried. I was like, oh my God, is he getting worse? So I let it wait for a little while, and I think this is really a testament to what your CEO was saying about this program. Like, everyone kind of came together to make sure we could make this happen. I talked to Marianna talked to Barb called him, they had a long conversation. You know, it was determined that I didn't upset them, I didn't like offend them or make them mad or anything like that. We had a good time, but they were still uncomfortable with the project. And then Marianna and I were talking and we realized, I just sent him an email and said, John, Carol, I don't have to paint you. I realized they're shy. They didn't want their portraits painted, which made my job easier than yours. So I said, well, we don't have to paint your portrait. Why don't I just paint you a painting that will fit in your house, and it'll be of the Rose Garden, and I'll go take pictures myself, so you know we can get this going. And then and they said, thank you. That's exactly what we would love. So I like to call this the Shy Couple's Rose Garden. And thank you. Thanks a lot.
We like each other. It's just an absolute joy to be a part of this project with such brilliant artists, and the camaraderie that we shared as a group discovering what we were going to make with our colleagues was such a joy, and I'm just so proud to be a part of Housecall Providers. Thank you for everything you do and for enabling us to make new friends and make work together, which is what it's all about. Yeah. So, I'm Susannah Mars. I'm an actress and a singer and an audio describer. I narrate audiobooks. I do all sorts of stuff. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a friend. And I made a really wonderful new friend through Housecall Providers. My friend Dave and I met many times over the last few months, and each time was a surprise. The first time I met with Dave, I brought my ukulele. And poor Dave was subjected to my very beginning playing. And it was during that time that I realized, and he told me, that he played the harmonica. So I thought, oh, that would be fun. We could play something together. So I called Marianna and I said, hey, I think Dave doesn't have a harmonica. So Marianna called Barb. Apparently Barb's the mover and shaker here. And and gave me some funds to buy Dave a harmonica. And every time we were together, he would play. So we had a wonderful time. He's a born musician, as you'll hear. And here is one of Dave's harmonica tunes. I just love Dave's laugh, and being present and open in the moment is a beautiful artistic practice that I experienced hanging out with Dave. Each visit, we learned a little bit more about each other, and we have a lot in common. Both of our moms were artists and have passed. Dave came back to Oregon to bury his mama. He calls himself a second-generation hippie. He was born in Oakland, California, and for a while lived at the Steel Creek Campground, way out my way, near the mountain. He loves plants and plays classical music for his plants. And he loves to look at the moon and stars through his telescopes and journeys out to Gresham on Sundays for church. He loves carving and making things. He has some of his own artwork, as you saw in the photos here, on his walls at home. And he's even carved fruit at the Holiday Inn. He likes to carve balsa wood and soapstone. He's been a roofer, a cattle rancher, a dishwasher, and an okra farmer. Here's another tune. Yeah. I recently took a train trip, and that tune transports me right back to the rails. Dave rode the rails for a part of his life, and one night he even sleepwalked right out of a boxcar. He has a son, Preston Orion. Preston's mom and Dave met riding freight trains. He has a few nicknames, and I can disclose one of them. Folks have called him Montana. He's got quite a few tattoos, some his mom put on him, and some he put on himself. He likes all kinds of music, and we cracked up when we both realized that we like Little Shop of Horrors because he likes to sing to his plants. He had a Venus flytrap and can imitate that plant from the musical pretty well. He shared that his proudest moment was chasing a mountain lion off the roof of his cabin, and his favorite thing is sitting out in the shade, which we did quite a few times this summer. Now, one more train tune. I really want to thank you, Dave, for welcoming me into your home and sharing some of your amazing stories about your life. I appreciate your easygoing, peaceful, and kind ways. Last week when I arrived, in the photo you saw, Dave was building a boat model from wooden sticks, planning the bow and shape of a pirate ship. And this is a bracelet Dave gave me soon after we met, and it really represents how our lives have kind of been woven together over these last several months. And I wanted to tell you, Dave, that I will carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. And that's a quote by E.E. Cummings, and I'm so grateful for meeting you. And I was going to say one more thing, but I can't oh, yes, that's right. So my name is Susannah, and this last song Dave played for me the last time we met.
This one's actually dedicated to you.
Thanks, Dave.
Hi, friends. I'm Latoya Lovely. I am a mommy, an artist, a dancer, an educator, as well as an activist for all things social justice. And this is my tiny best friend, James Lovely. He's also a dancer, an artist, an educator, an actor, and an advocate for all things social justice. And it's wild that many people don't even recognize me unless I have this tiny being with me. So this was a wildly amazing project, and I'm just thankful for this space and the opportunity. This was a wild project, and I just want to personally say thank you to Barb. I haven't seen you in a long time before today. Barb, just the face that you see now was the face and the energy that we received the entire time from welcome to this birthing right here before you. Thank you for your optimism, for your advocacy, for your joy, for your energy, and for your support of us as artists and the clients that you serve. thank you to Marianna, because, this project was driven and guided, and we were encouraged, and just the communication, I value that, and the support, because we're here during a wild time, and the individuals that we had the opportunity to become a part of their lives are not on our timeline. This is a journey that is quite different from the ones that we're a part of, and that's what we are journeying into. And so thank you for your support of our own individual journeys as well. So the elder that I got to become a part of her life for a short time, who's still here with us, Ms. Brown. And it was really tricky to say, hey, hello, I'm Latoya, I'm an artist, and I'm gonna be, representing you, creating a piece of artwork, representing your life. That's a big thing. And it was kind of hard for us to get that energy together to where we felt comfortable about this. It was a little apprehensive even meeting, and so I felt that the biggest icebreaker would be the baby. And so whenever her daughter would tell her, Ms. Elra, who's our caregiver, would tell her that I was coming, she'd be like, well, is she bringing the baby? Yes, I would be bringing the baby, Ms. Brown. And then also to share that I'm an artist, it's so abstract, but it was of value to bring my artwork to her and say, this is who I am as an artist. And I am an abstract painter. I am a paint realism. I work with mixed media, fabric, different materials, because I've learned throughout this journey that the canvas is just the structure that we're given. And with our magic, we get to pour and stretch and reach and do whatever morphing and evolving and birthing that we choose to do so from the canvas. So that was really special to share with her. And that opened up. She was like, okay. So I asked her when I first visited her, how you doing? She said, it's a blessing to still be in the land of the living. And I carry that with me in my heart. That's a wild perspective to have. I'm honored to have been a part of this project as a vessel to carry the stories of our elders. She is a fashionable woman. She's cute, she's fiery, she's feisty. She's my type of woman. I remember the first visit, just listening to her talk and watching her run her hands through her hair and crossing her legs, because whenever she would get a little idea, a little something fiery, something snappy she needed to say, she'd cross her legs. And I would just I left that conversation just feeling so empowered by this 92-year-old woman, just feeling all of my beauty and all of my sexiness and all of my energy and all of my joy, all of that. I carry that with me from our visit. And that's such a powerful thing to still be journeying through on this earth, no matter what she's been through, because it's been many things. And I welcome that into my heart and into my spirit. She was a care provider for generations of Portland families. And to me, that was valuable, having a young Black child. And I'm a homeschooling mother, so these visits were a part of my son's homeschooling day, where he got to hear about the history of a Black elder in our community, and where we got to revisit his experiences of racism as a baby, and where we got to talk about the trauma that our Black and brown kids suffer through within the educational system, where we get to talk about Black maternal health care, where mothers and babies are dying because they're not cared for as they should be, where we got to talk about the fact that this being in this city was integral to the care provided to families and the trust that families were able to entrust with her to care for their children, because in many spaces, our children are not cared for. And I asked her, why did you choose to do this? And she said, because I saw how other children were being cared for. And I also asked her, what was the hardest thing about taking care of children? She said, nothing. Nothing. And it's because, I'm so emotional, y'all. But it's like when you find that passion, when you find that thing that you were placed on this earth to do, what is hard about it? You know, we have those moments where things are challenging, but when you have walked in your gift, what's hard about it? So I thought that was quite valuable. Yeah. We're going to share the painting with you, and then I'll share a little bit more about Ms. Brown's life. But James was also a part of, he was a collaborator on this piece, so. So this is Ms. Brown, and this is a portrait of her now, and then a portrait of her earlier on in life. She loved to cook. She could make a meal out of anything. She would open the freezer, take all of those leftovers, and create something that was fantastic that people from all around the neighborhood would come and find amazing. She reminded me of my grandmother, because my grandma would cook foods that were, you know, nobody remembered we even had, and would call it goulash, because there were all the leftovers. And my granddad would never eat leftovers. He looked at her like she was crazy when she tried to put something that they had previously had that week onto the table for him. He was like, no, we don't do that. And so she tricked his little self. It was like, oh, we do that, and this is how we do that. We are inventive and we are creative. And she would create a magical meal that nobody even realized were many ingredients from before and beyond. So this reminded me of Ms. Brown. James helped me with the creative process, as he always does. He will watch the layers that I put on, and then he'll be like, no, it doesn't quite look like her in the eyes. I think you got a little bit more. No, that's not really her skin tone. I don't think she'll like that. I don't think she'll like that. And I'm like, okay. And so I go back and I fix stuff. And then he'll eventually give the thumbs up. He also helped to lay down the gold leaf, and he was very instrumental in the transport. And I also take joy in the fact that this piece isn't quite finished. And as we tumble and roll and skid and trip towards our goals and destinations, oftentimes, this project helped me to realize that all of those times when I felt like, I don't want to paint today, as a creative spirit, you listen to that. You don't move when it's not time to move. You don't move. And it doesn't freaking matter what the world is saying. The world is saying, oh, we got a deadline. The world is saying, oh, so-and-so needs to come and photograph your work, or, you know, other projects that are happening. And then I have this elder who I showed up to meet with, and she was not out of bed. She was like, honey, I'll see you next time. Or she was ready to visit for 5 minutes. And that is what it is. And we get to, thankfully as a mother, I've realized that, but remembering that we continue to be educated throughout our lives and we continue to learn those lessons. And this was one of those where I gave myself the right to sit and stop and go and ease and do all the things that guided me to this. And we're not done. And I let her know that. And that is okay. The flowers in this piece, I was given my first bouquet of the largest flowers I've ever received in my life. And it felt like holding a field of flowers. I never held that many flowers in my life, ever, at one time. And I just would wake up each day and like go into my living room and like embrace my flowers. I've never done anything like that, and I've never been able to do anything like that, and I know that they're dying. And so that was heartbreaking, that this beautiful thing I've been given is leaving me. And so I painted them, and they're forever here. I also was just like, this is a big thing, y'all. Like, it was very easy to say yes to the project. And then when it was time to create, I was like, I gotta tell, oh Lord, what I do. And to represent somebody's life, to say, this is about your life. And I was like, I got it, I'll paint your mural. On all the walls, like what do you do? And so I'm thankful that I stopped and at this, like you can't, where's she gonna put it? Like if it's any bigger. But also, after I completed the piece, a little whisper came back to me from my childhood, and it was remembering when the littlest treasure that you find is the most amazing thing. Like the littlest treasure that you find is just a rock. Like how many freaking rocks do I have in my home or sticks in the back of my car? And I just remembered that even if it were this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, it is still magical. So, thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica Wallenfels. I am a director, choreographer, and educator. I'm a little short for this. I have a movement piece for you today, and there's just 3 things that I want to tell you ahead of watching that piece. I was able to meet and get to know Lisa Larkins, which was an incredible honor. And I met her, one of the first things I learned about her was that she was moving, and because she was switching from one assisted living facility to another, and she's attached to one of her caregivers, and she uses an electric chair and a scooter to get around. I knew that this was going to be a big moment in her life to meet her, but then our conversations actually went much bigger and wider than that. So at the very end of the piece, you'll hear her talk a little bit about how she's feeling about having moved and being in her new place. The second thing is that Lisa and I are the same age, and we both grew up in the Pacific Northwest. And I also learned very early on that Lisa has lost both of her parents, and she misses them a lot. And during the course of our conversations, I actually lost my second parent. And so there was a real kinship that occurred there. And the third thing is that Lisa mentions a rather notable television character from the 80s in the middle of the piece. And so I sort of took that as inspiration because I made this audio as a tribute to Lisa, sort of out of these rough field recordings that I took hanging out with her, and also some found audio objects on my phone from musicians I don't even know where they are or where it happened, and a trip to Poland. And so it's kind of like a MacGyvered audio. So enjoy that. Thank you. Oh, the piece is called If You Have to Laugh, Laugh.
Summer of 1983, on July 20th, 3 days before my dad's birthday. If you have to laugh, please laugh, okay? Well, did I tell you about my accident? Okay. Summer of 1983, on July 20th, 3 days before my dad's birthday, this lady in a Ford Bronco was speeding. She didn't see me, sure enough. She slammed on her brakes and she skidded into me. When she hit me on my bike, I was only 95 pounds at the time, okay? When she hit me, they said I flew 150 feet down the street. to, maybe you don't need to, but you feel right here, you feel the dent where they had to drill holes in my head to drain out the blood clot. I even had MacGyver 1 through 8.
MacGyver!
Yeah.
Wow.
He was my favorite back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Richard Dean Anderson talking about a hunka. I was 12 years old or 11 years old when I first started watching him, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, well, shoot, man. He was the first actor I ever fell in love with.
Oh, because he could make something out of anything.
Out of anything.
Yes.
Even a piece of garbage,
Yes. Yes.
I mean, shoot. Anyway, I'm glad you're laughing. I'll just get to the point. I got to go back to my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Healy.
Okay.
The one that I had before the accident.
Okay.
Okay. And go back to his class because the kids don't have to change classes at the elementary school.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, because my mom split in 1984, the year after my accident, because she just couldn't handle, what happened to me and everything, She just was, I guess, afraid or something. Why'd you guys get divorced in the first place? That was really dumb, and you know what they said? It was, absolutely, because they still love each other,
Yeah.
So they got remarried, right? And they died married.
Mom and Dad used to dance together, slow dance together.
Yeah. And sometimes fast dance. Okay, I'm glad you asked that. The kind of music that my mom and dad used to listen to were like from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and 90s.
Okay.
But soft rock. I listen to soft rock,
Okay.
I mean, I can't think of the name of the bands, but my mom and dad used to listen to it, and I grew up listening to it,
Okay.
So that's why I like it.
Like Fleetwood Mac?
Yes.
Okay.
That stuff.
Okay.
Yes. Any others?
Like Kenny Loggins or
Yep.
something like
Uh-huh.
that? Okay.
Yep. I mean, a ton of friends.
Really?
I can't even name them all.
Uh,
Trying to remember all their names, I mean, I'm talking the people that live here
yeah.
and the people that work here, okay?
Yeah.
So I've got friends from both sides, and it's great. I mean, I really love it here. Friends, like
Yeah.
friends I went to school with, like my best friend Janice and her husband Steve. And
Yeah.
Mr. Healy, I
Yeah.
told you about him.
From
right?
school, that's right.
Yeah, he was my 6th grade teacher. He still talks with me. At
Really?
least once a day,
Once a day?
I call him. Yes, we call him. Sorry. Yes, we call him once a day.
Really?
Yep. And when I can remember to do it, I do it. And we talk,
Wow.
See, he tells me what he's been doing, and I tell him what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll even make a plan coming to see me.
Go ahead, dude. I'm just riffing now. I didn't know if it was obvious.
Hello, everybody. First off, I want to thank Marianna and Barb and Housecall for putting all this together. 30 years is an incredible milestone, and I'm really grateful to be part of it. My name is Jordan Henline. I'm a filmmaker, photographer, gardener, musician, husband, night owl, and about 1 million others. We are so many different things throughout life. We're complex and simple, at the same time shaped by everything big and small. I'm fascinated by those moments that feel insignificant when they happen, but looking back, you realize that those people and those moments changed everything. Through Housecall, I was paired with a patient named Jason David to create a short film. We only had the chance to meet once, and I really enjoyed our time together. Jason has lived an incredible life and is a natural storyteller. We share a lot in common, especially our taste in music. I told Jason that I added a Bad Religion song to the video and asked what he thought of the band. He ended up choosing a different song, but from the same album. And that's the one that made the cut, so it worked out really well. Thanks for having me, and I hope you enjoy Jason and my short film titled As the Shadows Lengthen.
Hope everybody likes them just a little well.
Whoops. How about when the fire get turned down?
Look at that. Perfect. You want help, Daddy?
We are a lot of people in this life, writing chapters that don't often line up neatly, but end up making sense together. Each role we hold shapes the way we see and move through the world, and slowly builds and unfolds into a story worth sharing. Because sometimes, the lives of others teach us the most about our own.
What's wrong?
If I could move your attention over here, we have a veteran, a protester, a loving father, an avid fisherman who somehow never takes pictures of his biggest catch. His biggest catch is actually his wife, who he still can't believe gave him the time of day back in 1975. She's a gardener, a mother, a daughter, a sister, marathon runner, local chess champion, and exotic dancer. Let's not remind our kids about that last part.
New microchip technology.
We are all a lot of people in this life, and if we are lucky, we get to meet other complex people to share our stories with and learn from. And it's how we experience it, whether through joy, struggle, or simple moments, which leaves us with a story worth telling. And that brings us to Jason.
Well, the sheets of all the brought, when the fields are washed away, and the palaces now stand where the garments are laid, and the time to see ahead.
Jason is not just one thing either. He's a father, a skateboarder, a storyteller, a dreamer, and quite possibly the unofficial Guinness World Record holder of most cars ever owned. His story, like all of ours, is layered, surprising, and worth knowing.
The first time I saw an ollie, someone doing an ollie on a skateboard, I was mesmerized, and I stayed after school to use somebody's skateboard and let him use my bike that I had like hundreds of dollars into back then, but all I wanted to do was try an ollie over and over and over again. So I stayed after school a whole bunch of nights, like 3 nights, until I did my first couple of ollies. And after that I was hooked, so that's all I did from the time I was about 13 till 30. I couldn't imagine growing up any other way, you know. Going from contest to contest, being around a bunch of guys, cheering for each other, and it's like, man, I didn't see a lot of that anywhere else when I was growing up. I mean,
but we don't wish to admit what it is we have to lose.
You ever heard of Swatch watches? It was a big fad in the 80s, and they were like $35, but that was a little bit of money then. And I traded that for my first board with no wheels, just a board with trucks. It was a Z-Blank, one that has the concave and everything, but you have to cut it out in wood shop. So you buy these for $15 and you cut it out and you got a board. So I bought one of those. So by the time I could afford to have wheels, since I was just like 13 years old, I could already ollie almost a foot high in my basement. You know, I was early on in the flips too. I could do one before I ever saw one. So it was just a myth back in those days. You heard about a kickflip, everyone was trying them, so I did the first one that most of us ever seen, actually. But yeah, the easy stuff that most people learn before ollies, I couldn't do that. It took me years to get my balance like that. It's crazy.
You thought of it.
Every place back in the day, before we had parks everywhere, every place to skate was illegal. Cops would come and bust us all the time. That's all it was just go sit at the skate shop, rest up, and then venture off to like the college or somewhere it's highly illegal. to skate. You got to put your board down and know what tricks you're going to do. They started impounding our boards, keeping them for 3 days, and then we'd have to pay the impound on them. But I mean, the audacity. You can't impound a skateboard. I got 2 kids. I got Jason, my son. He's 18. He turned 18 in March. And then my daughter, Kalia, she turned 17 in July. She's the most mature of all of us. Me, my son, her mom. She's already looking at colleges, and she hasn't even started her senior year yet. So, yeah, she'll do well. My son, he looks just like I did, same color and everything, same height, exactly like I did at his age. Good kid, dude. Never had to spank him. He made it. I cut the cord now, but he did good. He graduated. He's been into jiu-jitsu since he's been about 15. Well, he's a good kid though, but I seen the way he holds a broom, and I don't know whether to yell at him or laugh at him. So I just push him forward. I say, dude, stay on your shit, because the streets will reject you. Hold the broom like that. When I look back at things, I try to look back at those times when everything was cool and gravy and all that. I don't have much memories of that, because of those times I was probably relaxing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But when I look back, the times I'm most proud of is getting through some shit, and my best people ever are those who were right alongside me on the roughest of times, the most questionable of times. If it's too easy, it might not even be worth it. You know, it might be a good rest stop, but ever since becoming a skateboarder, where pain is part of it, it's just been like, it doesn't matter, because there's nothing to gain without any pain.
Oh my gosh, wow. Thank you all for coming to Works of Heart this evening. Wasn't that incredible? I want to again reiterate my thanks for Barb and Jen and Bruce and Emily and Rebecca. Thank you, everybody, and everyone who works at Works of Heart. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Make sure if you're watching on the live stream, there is an auction going on. So if you want to bet on that trip for Hawaii and then donate it to the artist, we'll all go. Yeah, and also there is more food and drinks, so if you want to get another little snack and drink before you leave, you're welcome to do so. I just want to bring the artists out one more time. Thank you so much. This team was incredible. Latoya Lovely, Jessica Wallenfels, Jordan Henline, Susannah Mars. And thanks to Reese for playing piano for us. And thank you especially to the patients who shared their stories with us. We really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Take care, everyone. Thank you.